Let's continue correcting some of the most common mistakes seen in beginners programs with this fourth video on the topic. And the first mistake I want to address today is changing programs too often. Whether you're training on your own or working with a coach, meaningful results take time and they won't always come consistently. Progress is not linear and it is impossible to constantly improve at the same rate without ever hitting a plateau or even regressing slightly. This becomes even more true as your experience level increases. That's why patience and long-term commitment are essential for continued improvements. Unfortunately, that's where many beginners go wrong. As soon as they stop seeing rapid progress or hit a temporary plateau, they blame their coach or program and decide to switch things up, often without giving the current plan enough time to work. But those first few weeks on a new program are usually just an adaptation phase. You're learning a new structure and getting used to different exercises. Early beginner gains don't last forever and most of the time they're not reliable indicators of progress. If you keep changing your exercises, split, training volume and other variables too often, you may feel like you're improving because everything is new, but your overall level and development might stay the same. If you want to enjoy your workouts and reach your goals, but find repeating the exact same routines boring, here's a better approach. Build your program around long-term goals with a stable structure spanning several months, using key exercises and consistent volume. From there, you can still adjust secondary variables to keep things fresh. You don't need to repeat the exact same sessions for years. Just find a balance between consistency and variety, and you'll have more fun and see better results. And if you're unsure how to do that or have specific questions, contact a skilled coach or get into my DMs. My inbox is always open to anyone who wants to learn and improve. Now let's move on to the second point, the infamous arm day, which also gives me the chance to talk about the overuse of isolation exercises. As I've mentioned several times in my videos, compound movements, so multi-joint movements, are valuable at every level, especially for building muscle. To simplify the upper body structure, compound exercises often tend to work in pairs, like back and biceps, chest and triceps, or shoulder and triceps. This is an overly simplified view, but it helps illustrate the point. Yes, isolation exercises absolutely have their place in a good training program, but most likely in smaller percentages than compound exercises. A common guideline for beginners is 80% compound work and 20% isolation. Still, many new lifters are obsessed with the idea of having a dedicated arm day. And to be fair, it's understandable. Arms are fun to train and most of the time they're tied to beginners' motivation and confidence. But here's the issue. If your entire session consists of variations of biceps curls and triceps extensions just to hit every head of the muscle, you're most likely missing out on what you actually need. While isolating specific parts of a muscle can be effective, beginners almost always benefit more from well-structured compound lifts. And honestly, if your overall muscle size is still underdeveloped, what's the point in using advanced targeting techniques? Before worrying about the long head of your triceps, try to increase the overall size and strength of your tricep, arm and main muscle groups. Yes, arm day exists in splits such as the Arnold split or the PPL x Arnold, but these routines were designed for more advanced lifters. If you're still early in your journey, build your arms as part of your upper body sessions using compound exercises that allows for progressive overload across multiple joints and muscle groups. And then, if you want, sprinkle in some isolation exercises. It's always enjoyable and useful when programmed correctly. Just make sure that your main exercises stay your priority and the results will follow. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions or anything else, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you want to contact me straight through my social medias, the links are in the description of this video. I'll see you next Sunday and until then, train hard, stay consistent and never forget, make yourself proud.